We welcome this comprehensive report prepared by the Office of the High Commissioner. The report aptly states that even though Afghanistan already faced significant human rights challenges before the military takeover by the Taliban, important steps were taken by the previous government aimed at protection and promotion of human rights. However, since the takeover, as the report suggests, and I quote, action taken by the de facto authorities have undermined human rights protection at all levels. Mr. Vice President, as we commemorate this year the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a document that recognizes the inherent dignity and inalienable rights of all human, the Taliban have to be reminded time and again that the state of Afghanistan remains bound by international human rights obligation, and they cannot and should not separate Afghanistan from the international system. Engagement needs reciprocity. This report also highlights those restrictions imposed on women and girls, particularly their access to education and work, which have significantly impacted the humanitarian and economic crisis, pushing families further deep into poverty, especially in women-led households. For example, according to the recent media report, just last week in the southern province of Uruzgan, the Taliban Health Department put a total ban on women's work on health sector, including polio vaccination campaigns. Let me tell you a few economic and humanitarian consequences of such act, especially for those not very much interested in human rights and women's rights implication of those policies. Number one, pushing more women and families to poverty. Number two, deteriorates access to health. And number three, prolongs persistence of polio in Afghanistan. What we need then is more urgent humanitarian assistance. Mr. President, Vice President, dear colleagues, let me remind this Council that with over 4 million children deprived of education, increasing ethnic discrimination and gender apartheid policies of the Taliban are not only a danger to the present and future of Afghanistan as a nation state, it's an imminent threat to the neighboring and regional states, as well as a cause for serious reversal of the SDGs, more precisely the potentially achievable goal number 4, quality education, equity and inclusive education system, and number 5, achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls. With them at the helm, it appears that no single SDG will be achieved. Mr. Vice President, by now the whole world is seeing the cruelty unleashed by the Taliban on the people of Afghanistan. The group demolished the rule of law and the legal system, introduced a domestic justice and legal framework to implement this twisted misogynistic ideology which believes in opposing women and girls and all religious and ethnic minorities. In a male-dominated system, as the report also suggested, which bars female lawyers and judges, only a Talib is in charge of dispensing raw justice. Mr. Vice President, the report also tells us what the UN special procedures and mandate holders, including the Special Rapporteur in Afghanistan Working Group on Discrimination of Women against Women and Girls, and prominent human rights organizations all agree that this widespread and systematic policies targeting women and girls amount to gender persecution, gender apartheid, and constitutes a war crime against humanity. Mr. Vice President, justice and peace continue to elude the people of Afghanistan. How long until we take action? We require proactive measures to combat this culture of impunity and to hold the perpetrators of grave human rights violation accountable. Lastly, we reiterate that dialogue with the Taliban's de facto authorities should be contingent on and center around their respect for human rights and fundamental freedom of people of Afghanistan. Mr. Vice President, dear colleagues, to conclude, there is certainly a bright side to this dark shadow imposed on the people of Afghanistan. It's our civil society, our women movement, our 63% or nearly 25 million young under 25 girls and boys of Afghanistan. It's our young professionals inside the country which running the machinery of government, whatever exists of the services possible to render to the people, and those educating and resisting outside. It's our youth exile orchestra, and which will continue to sing for Afghanistan and for humanity. Thank you very much.